G'day everyone, welcome back to Roll with the Punches. I'm your host Tiffanee Cook and I've got another weapon with me to have a chat today. Now first, you might remember in our very first episode, we spoke to Razor Ray Chamberlain. Last week I went to the Chamberlain Foundation luncheon and there was a spectacular speaker on the stage. So I scruffed him by the neck and I've pulled him here. He's sitting in the chair with me today. Michael Donehue, welcome.
Thank you very much for having me. It's awesome to be here.
What a journey.
I know, it has been a massive journey and we've been talking off camera about how important networking is, and I think that the connection that we built with so many other people on that day was absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You know, when you come together for a common cause, you just tend to, it's like, I felt like I had known you. When we caught up today, I felt like I was sitting with someone I'd known for quite a while, which is really cool.
It is cool, and I think having that same thing in common straight away, you walk through the door, we're all there for the same reason, you know, to try and talk about suicide prevention and talk about mental health and have starting those conversations with people, and then you sit on a table with people that you've never met before, but then you can instantly have that conversation and connection. That's one thing that's really, really cool, and it's led us to where we are today.
I love it. On that, do you still find in different environments, when you're out of those places, is it still difficult to sometimes have that conversation? Do you still struggle to be open about it?
I think for me, not so much now that I have opened up. 10 to 12 years ago, I probably didn't see myself talking to my family and friends, but now I don't really feel that the worry or the shame about actually opening up and starting that conversation with different people that I've never met before, because the way I look at it is the more that I can talk, hopefully the more that's actually going to help that person that I am talking to, because one thing that I might say might resonate with them, or they might actually take a key takeaway message from it that they can implement into their daily routine or daily lives. And as difficult as it might be for other people, the conversation for me is one thing that has really helped, and it's one thing that I'm doing every day to try and remove the stigma and try and help as many people as possible.
Yeah, I love that. Talk to me a little bit about how it all came into your awareness. Like, when did you start to think mental health is a thing and I might be struggling with it?
Yeah, well, I grew up in the country, so I grew up in Benalla in northeast Victoria, and for me, I think that the hardest part was I wasn't educated about it. There wasn't as much talk back then about mental illness and mental health problems, and I didn't know what was going on. And as a 16-year-old, I just thought I was meant to be up and down on that mental health roller coaster. And it wasn't until my best mate's 21st birthdays I actually had the courage the Monday after to have a conversation with my parents, and we made an appointment at the local GP. Yeah. But I think the lack of education for me was probably the thing that hurt the most, because if I knew a little bit more about it, I probably would have got that professional help sooner.
Yeah.
And I think being in such a small town too, you don't really feel comfortable at the time to talk about it, because rumours travel so quickly, or people don't know as much about it, same as what I did. And the one thing that was really important for me, went to the doctor and he said, you've got depression. So I was diagnosed with depression on that day, did all the testing and had the conversation with him. My mum came to the appointment with me to make me feel a bit more comfortable. Yeah. I was put on medication and it leveled me out. It really did help. But I think for me, that lack of education, not really knowing, but then I guess having the support of mum and dad to open up and have that conversation with a professional really, really helped. Because if I didn't, things might have been completely different.
Yeah. Was it did you went back then when you were at that point where you're about to come out and have that conversation, did you feel like it was, I feel things I don't think I should feel, or was it I am behaving in ways that feel incongruent? What was that experience like?
It was a bit of both. The thing that I noticed the most, I was taking out my moods and the way that I was feeling on the people that I love the most. Yeah. And that's not fair on anyone, but they stood by me, they stuck by me through the highs and the lows. But I think the thing that I really found the most was, just taking out the moods on them. It could be the smallest things that made the biggest difference to my day. So I could, drop something, or something might happen, and then it just put me in a crap mood for a long time. And then I'd isolate, I'd stay in my room, and then I'd take it out on my parents and my brother, which wasn't fair on them. But I just couldn't control that. So, as cliche as it sounds, I learned a lot more about myself and, the things that might have triggered me a little bit, but there was certain circumstances that, would put me back to square one. Yeah. But I just wanted to try and be a little bit more mindful of the things that I was doing to, impact the people around me that I cared the most about.
Isn't it funny? I always joke because I've got a podcast guest turned therapist. I had a guest on my show to talk about a book he'd written on mental health. And within that first episode, halfway through, it became basically a fairly confronting mental health consultation. And I had him on a second time, which was a live therapy session. But I remember in that second conversation talking about, he mentioned something, we were talking about triggers, and I remember talking about a situation when I was 17 or 18 and coming home from work, and how if mum wasn't putting dinner on the table, I didn't realise, but I would get emotionally triggered. Like, I would go to my room and I couldn't even be reasonable, and I said to him, I couldn't understand why I was such an a-hole.
Yeah.
And he goes, you were triggered. And it was, to take ownership and go, I have this going on. I don't know how to control it in the moment, but you just think it's normal, or you don't raise a conversation around it.
Definitely, and it doesn't have to be the biggest thing either. Sound, smell, I love my music, so it could be certain sounds and songs now that can trigger me into a poor mood or the way that I'm feeling. It didn't have to be the biggest things for me either, like back in the day when I was taking it out of my parents. But the more I learnt about it, it's like, well, what can I do to look after myself a little bit so I'm not either, or the coping strategies that I've got in place, so that I can combat those triggers. And I started to learn a lot more about the things I could do or the things that would help. But there was certain triggers for me that put me back to square one, which really hit me hard. And it's one of the things, the key messages that I've always got is never take those moments for granted with your loved ones, because you never know when that last one will be. So picking up the phone, sending a message, calling them, or whatever it is, actually taking the time out, because we've got so much time in every day. It takes us 20 seconds to send a text message, unless you're my dad, who it might take him 2 minutes to reply and all he says is okay. But for me, sporting injuries was a massive trigger, and it still is, and I know that we can both relate with that one.
Oh yeah.
I broke my back when I was 17 playing footy. Broke my ankle playing basketball when I was even younger than that. I was in a serious car accident with 6 of my mates, and I was lucky. We look at stats, and one of us probably should have died that night. Wow. with the stats. And at the time, I was working at a hospital, and I thought, I'll do the right thing. We got taken into the hospital. I'll put everyone's details into the computer, and then half an hour later, I was vomiting up blood, and the doctor said, I think you've got a fractured skull and a broken elbow. I'm going to chuck you in the ambulance and send you to another hospital. So you look at triggers like that and things that have happened. You can't do the things that you really enjoy. So for me, sport is everything. I love my sport, love getting around my mates. So I couldn't do those things that I really wanted to do. But the main trigger for me was I lost my auntie and cousin in the Black Saturday bushfires. And that's like the message before that I said about how important it is to reach out to your loved ones. Didn't see it coming. It was one of the worst days in fire history. I was playing cricket that day, probably pretty poorly because I was never a very good cricketer. But once again, I just wanted to spend time with my mates. Yeah. And got home, and my mum said to me, Marysville's under threat. And the next morning got a phone call about 8:30 in the morning to say that they'd lost their life in the fires. So that was the biggest trigger for me at the time that put me back to square one. Turned to alcohol really hard, so I was drinking 5 nights a week until 2 or 3 in the morning. And when you're living a lifestyle like that, medication that I was taking went out the window. I was drinking, not sleeping as much. I was eating a poor diet, and not feeding my body with the right nutrition. So for me, all of those things just pretty much spiraled out of control, and it eventually led to me with those triggers, and especially the Marysville fires, that I was waking up on a daily basis, thinking about how much can I drink and what are the ways that I can take my life, because I was just sick of the person I was. I didn't look good, I didn't feel good, the thing that always stands out to me the most was spending time with my mates. And I was always pretty honest and open with my mates when I was talking about my mental health and the mental health problems that I had. But it was a Thursday night. I can vividly remember this. Caught up with my mates for dinner, a couple of quiet beers if they felt like having it. Had tea. How's your family? How's work going? All those kinds of things. So checking in with each other. And I didn't realise that was the day that I'd chosen that I was going to drive my car into a tree. So within half an hour of having dinner with my mates, I had a tree lined up at 212 kilometres an hour because I was sick of that person that I was, and I knew deep down that I didn't really want to die because I had amazing family and amazing friends around me. But in that moment, I just felt so low and so ashamed of the person that I was and how I looked, and I just thought, this could be the way out. This is the way that's going to end that pain. But the thing that helped me was, one, the brakes worked. Like, thank God they stopped, because I'm here to share parts of my story today. But I pulled the car over uncontrollably, and the thought of my family, my friends, the small community that I was in, my sporting teammates, it would impact everyone. Cried on the side of the road for 3 to 4 hours, and snuck in the front door when my parents had gone to bed, so they didn't realise how bad I was and what I just contemplated doing. And it wasn't until probably 6-7 years after that moment that I had the courage to open up and share with my family about what I'd contemplated doing and going through.
Do you own your own business but keep falling behind on bookkeeping? Are you drowning in paperwork, invoices and Excel spreadsheets, or leaving it to the last minute and lodging late? Renee Baker and her team of friendly bookkeepers can make sense of your numbers and keep all your compliance in line. Business Services by Ren offer fixed monthly bookkeeping packages to suit your needs and requirements. Our Xero accredited team can help you go paperless with top-of-the-line software support. Contact us today on 0412 222 498 or visit bsbr.com.au. Text me when you get home. We've all said that to a friend and wish we didn't have to. Everyone should be able to live in and enjoy a safe environment. Introducing the new app Safey, developed to give users additional peace of mind. Safey's panic button feature takes continuous pictures, records audio, and activates a GPS locator. In seconds, an alert is sent to your chosen Safey emergency contact. Play it Safey. Download a free version now.
At Michael Benjamin and Associates, we understand that everyone's life is different, and so are your legal needs. We take the time to understand your personal circumstances and requirements to deliver the best results. We predominantly practice in family law, wills, probate and administration, and property law and conveyancing. With over 30 years' experience, our friendly, attentive and highly experienced lawyers are your local firm of choice for all your legal matters. Visit mblaw.com.au or call 9558 0558 today.
I always ask because I feel like it's different for everyone, and when people share so courageously and be open about that experience, what does it feel like in the moments where your choices are driven by that feeling? Does it feel like you?
I just felt hollow. It was like an out-of-body experience. It was almost like I was there watching myself what was actually about to unfold. So for me, I felt like, a weight had been lifted off my shoulders. I felt at ease or at peace or whatever it was. And my mind switched off for that split second. And then, 30 seconds later, I was like, what are you doing? It switched back on, and I was like, what just happened? Yeah. And it's hard to explain, but it was like that out-of-body experience. Just felt hollow, felt light. But then I was just lucky that my mind or brain switched back on and just said, look, these are the people that you've got there waiting for you at home. And it still hurts me when I think about the voice or the face that my mum made when I shared that story. And my dad, I've shared this story countless times now because I feel more comfortable doing it. Yeah. But you can stand in front of a group of strangers and you've still got your parents in the room and it still upsets them. So it's like you look at it and you go, thank God, thank God that I didn't go through with that, and that I found better coping strategies to actually look after myself and get back on top of everything.
Yeah. 5 or 6 years before it's a massive amount of time. What makes it easier? Because It's so, and I think storytelling's the big one, but it's so easy to say, reach out when you're feeling down and tell someone and open up. But in the moment, it's actually the hardest thing to do.
Ridiculously hard.
How do we, do you have any ideas or experience on getting that to not be so hard?
It is so difficult because it's going to come back to the individual, and we can put as much support in place, or do this, do that, have a chat to this person, but I think it comes back to the person that wants to support them. It's like, check in. Let's not wait for the person that we're saying reach out. If they say, I'll talk to you in a few days, and I'll message you when I'm ready, it's like, that might be their way of getting out of the conversation because they don't feel comfortable to do it. So let's check in, whether it's been 3 days, 3 minutes, 3 hours. Hey mate, I just want to check in. Is everything okay? Do you want to catch up for a beer? Do you want to catch up for a coffee? Let's go for a walk. Let's do a gym session, whatever it is. Yeah. I think that one of the most important parts is actually taking the time out of our day and checking in with them rather than saying, reach out when you need it. Because that could be the way that they go, oh, sweet, I'll reach out when I'm ready. That could be 3 weeks' time.
Yeah.
But, check in. They might say, I'm fine. But there's no harm in checking in regularly with the person that you care about and that you want to support.
Yeah. One of the best questions, one of my former guests, Ray Bonney, and she's got a monthly program on 3WBC on mental health. She's a very big advocate for men's mental health, which is awesome. And I never forget it, the question that she asks is, what's it like being you today? Instead of how are you? Because you just get this program response like, yeah, good. But when you ask someone actually, what is it like being you? It takes your mind
Definitely.
to a different place.
Exactly. And it's like the same as we've got amazing causes like Are You Okay Day?
Yeah.
But it's kind of like almost a throwaway question. I was like, are you okay? Are you okay? It's like you kind of walk around the workplace, or your friends at the footy club's like, are you okay? Yeah. It's like, there's so many questions. What was the best thing about your day today? What are the things that you want to work on? Like, there's so many questions that we can kind of ask to dive a bit deeper and go, this was really hard. Oh, what did you do to look after yourself in that moment? Or how are you feeling now? So there's so many different things and questions that we can ask, I reckon, to dive a bit deeper and work out how that person is and what we can do to support them in a moment where they mightn't feel 100%.
Yeah. And I think it's tricky. I think back of me years ago, like I'm like you now, I will talk in front of anyone about anything, and I'm very open about therapy and mental health and all of the things. But I think of me prior to that level of self-awareness, when I was still operating amidst a persona of myself that I thought was me. And I remember the way I would relate to people, or maybe the opinion that I would have of people, and oversharing. And, because if someone was too open about their mental health, for me, I assumed that it was triggering because I wasn't really aware that there were things going on within me that I was trying to deny.
Yep.
But I think that can make it really difficult when there's so many different people, so many different experiences. One of the wonderful companies that sponsor this show, they have an app, and it's called Safety. And it was actually an app to get people home safe, or if your kids are getting home, just by press of a button, GPS, got a panic button. But this year they contacted me and said, we're actually putting an I'm not okay button on it. Right, so now at the press of a button, you don't have to type the message yourself. You can put an emergency contact or a person in there, and you can just, if you're feeling really low, just hit the button. And I thought that was really cool because it's just depersonalises it slightly, and I think...
Yeah, and it's amazing too by having a button like that, I'm not okay, or, a question like that, or, a statement like that.
Yeah.
It takes a lot more effort than just pressing one button. So, it's, if something like that, sends it off to someone, whoever it might be, we know that straight away so that we can, whether it be us, whether it be a friend or a family member that's closer by, resources like that. We want to do everything that we possibly can to support people, because the more conversations we have, the more resources or information and education that's out there, the more lives we're hopefully going to be able to save by having all of that stuff there at our fingertips, literally.
Yeah. Tell me about your T-shirt.
Love this T-shirt. This T-shirt was launched for the Chamberlain Foundation luncheon.
Oh, really?
So it's in the Chamberlain Foundation colours. So I started a journey a bit over 2 years ago to try and prevent what I went through for somebody else. start those conversations. If people see this T-shirt, it's all about, all right, well, everyone's not going to know what Journey is now because it's a relatively new company. But if they see the logo, it's like, oh, this is a safe space. I feel comfortable here. I can do the thing, like I can actually have a conversation with someone and check in, or, oh, what does Journey mean to you, and things like that. Because to me, I look at this logo, the love heart for me is all about the support that you get from your family and friends through the difficult times and the good times as well. The word journey, we're all on a journey. Everyone has a story, and it's about sharing that and trying to normalise that. But the windy riding is all about, there's going to be challenges, there's going to be hurdles, but start, finish, we can get there if we've got the right coping strategies in place. And I can sit here and say, these are the 10 things that work for me, but it's so important that people find their own coping strategies, and then also, finding out what their journey means to them and what this actually represents to them. So the thing that I'm proud about with this T-shirt is, money raised from it goes straight back into the Chamberlain Foundation and helps out first responders. So, the thing in the mental health space for me, collaboration, not competition. I think it's so important to work together with as many people as possible, start conversations, check in, and, support as many people as we possibly can.
Nobody wants to go to court. At TShirt Family Lawyers, we encourage all forms of alternative dispute resolution. TSHirt's team of Melbourne family lawyers have extensive experience in all areas of family law. Whatever your legal issue is, our family law service is designed to make the process as painless as possible while striving to achieve the results you want. Experience, excellence and compassion. TShirt Family Lawyers, we take care of you. Call us today on 9039 3364.
Is your business facing financial difficulty or the prospect of insolvency? PKF Melbourne can draw on a comprehensive and varied range of solutions to help. Our insolvency experts will give you the right advice at the right time. Don't let financial difficulty take hold of your business. Get proactive with PKF Melbourne. Our team specialises in all types of insolvency and provides a range of additional services. We've been providing insolvency services throughout Australia for over 3 decades. Let us support your business. Contact us now.
Would you like a superpower? With an AED, you have the power to restart a heart in cardiac arrest. Over 33,000 Australians experience cardiac arrest every year. Sadly, only 10% survive. Using an AED within the first 3 minutes increases survival rates by 70%. AED Authority is on a mission to make more places heart safe. Places just like yours. Anyone can use an AED. AED Authority has the advice and support to help you choose the right device. AEDs give ordinary people like you superpowers. No cape needed.
I love it. We talked a little bit briefly before about body image, and I said I wanted to talk about it because I said it's just something that we don't often associate with a male issue. So I'd love you to talk a little bit about that. Yeah,
that's probably one of the biggest challenges I've had as well, and it's an ongoing battle. Within myself, I can go to the gym. The gym is my main coping mechanism, but I can go to the gym, look in the mirror and go, I'm the same person as I used to be. 2010, I was 130 kilos, and I can still see that person. But I was always a little bit chubby at school. I was the overweight kid on the monkey bars and things like that. And I think, the body image stuff and being a little bit bigger probably contributed to my mental health problems and the way that I saw myself and the way that I judged myself. Yeah. But the one thing that really helped me with my body image was I joined up Weight Watchers with my mum, and that was an experience and a half. Didn't really want to do it, but I knew that I could have died of a heart attack, because I was on it, like drinking, eating the wrong foods, and I was gaining a lot of weight. But that experience was an experience, the only way to put it, because I thought it was going to be a room full of old ladies, and no disrespect to the older generation out there, but I thought for me it was going to be, those old ladies are going to judge me. It's like, what's this young guy doing here? But I wanted to do it for not only myself, but for my mum, make her proud. And she came home on a Sunday and she said, you can join up Weight Watchers for $1. So I was like, one, you're a fat bastard, but I can save you a bit of money at the same time to try and get back on track and get back on top of everything. And went into the first meeting on a Wednesday night, and I was right, it was a room full of old ladies. And it was kind of like a movie scene. It's like everything stopped around me. and they looked at me and they judged me or felt like I was being judged, but I was like, I'm here for me. I need to get back on track. But yeah, the body image stuff, it's trying to, limit those triggers that can, help me. So it's, going to the gym every day or doing something physical, whether it be walking the dog along the beach, just getting up, getting out, getting active. That's one trigger that, like coping strategy to try and combat that trigger. Try and eat as healthy as possible. I still enjoy, the naughty food, but everything in moderation. But yeah, it's body image for me is, I judge myself heavily on a daily basis, but some days are better than some of the others, but if I've got those coping strategies in place and I'm looking after myself, I'm going to be closer to 100% than not.
Yeah, I love that. Do you know what else stood out when you told that story is how susceptible we always are to, at some point, sometime in life, being the minority and feeling the impact of that. Like going into a room and being the only, so I think this storytelling and sharing our stories becomes more powerful because it just keeps spreading that realisation that we're not alone.
Definitely.
That we're not the only dude in the room, or we're not the only one struggling with whatever we're struggling with.
Exactly, and it comes back to, like you said, the storytelling. The more that people can share stories, everyone's going to have different experiences, everyone's going to have different triggers, coping strategies, but the more that we share, other people are going to resonate with certain things. So whether it be something that I've said that people resonate with, or something that you've said, or the other millions of people out there that are sharing different experiences, the more that we can share, the more that we can actually take away and go, all right, well, I feel similar to that. Yeah. They've spoken about it. They've got professional help. Why can't I do the same? And whether you've seen one doctor, a psychologist, or whoever, there is always someone out there. If you haven't connected with that one, there's so many other people out there that you can actually get that support and help from. Yeah.
Before we throw over to hearing where people can find you and buy your shirts and hire you for obscene amounts of money to speak, I want to hear when you opened up for the first time about the car. So you've held that inside yourself for 5 or 6 years. I want to know what the feeling was, the moment, and maybe the day after you'd let that come out.
I think there was a bit of pain because of that, what I put my parents and my brother through. Yeah. But at the same time, there was that relief because, the longer you hold on to something, the heavier it gets.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to share it at that right time. There was going to be something on social media about it, and I thought, well, it's better to hear directly from me rather than seeing it on social media. So for me, there was that pain, but then also, just, I guess, the pride as well of being able to share that, but also still being here in a position to try and impact the life of someone else. Because the thing that I've always said is I thought the hardest part was actually going to be the conversation, whether it be around suicide or my mental health problems. But once I actually opened up, no matter how difficult it was, I actually realised that the hardest part was going out in public and putting on that mask and pretending to be someone that I wasn't. So, go down the main street of my hometown of Benalla, smiling, laughing. Oh, Mick's a champion. How happy is he? Like, he's a likeable guy. Deep down, I was hurting, and I was at home, and I was isolating, and I was taking it out of my loved ones. But conversation, weight off the shoulders. But also, I could take that mask off, and they could go, all right, well, Mick's not doing 100%. What can we do to help him? And there was those things really, really important. I think the more that we can talk and get it out there, the sooner we can actually get back on the journey to recovery.
Amazing. Where do we find you online?
So we've got the website, so www.journeyapparel.com.au, got that right. Journey Apparel on Instagram as well, and then same on Facebook. So always open for conversation. To me, it's not actually about selling shirts, even though it is. It's more about the connection with people and having those conversations, normalising a safe, comfortable environment. And if I sell a shirt, that's a bonus, but I want to eventually build the brand and the business into donating money to the Chamberlain Foundation or other people out there that are doing amazing work. So send a message. Like, I'm more than happy to have a conversation with anyone.
I love it. You're a weapon. I'm glad we connected. Go check him out, guys.